All right, y'all. So welcome to the late Roman army showcase. Now, unfortunately, the light has changed on me a little bit, so the lighting is not as good as I'd hoped. But let me just talk you through what I got done so far. So this is going to be about 99% of my contribution for the Roman force for our big Historicon Strasbourg project. There are still a few things that remain to be done, but at this point, all the troops are like basically completed. So I want to talk you through what I've got done and, what is to come, what more work needs to be done on this force. So we'll start with the cavalry and then we'll move over. So here we have got 2 units of light horse archers, 2 units of light javelin cavalry. We've got 2 units of kind of regular heavy Roman cavalry, the commander of the cavalry in the middle, and then 2 units of cataphracts. So this will be about half of the cavalry present at the Historicon Battle of Strasbourg. So there'll be basically double the units of everything. So double the horse archers, double the light cavalry, double the heavy cavalry, double the cataphracts. So the cavalry are from Victrix. I highly recommend their set. It's awesome. These are a mix of Gripping Beast and Footsore miniatures, the Gripping Beast plastics and Footsore miniatures. They actually, I think, mix quite well together. And then we have got the commander is from Westwind models, but they have Victrix heads stuck on, and then a Victrix hand and banner stuck on there. So they're kind of a Frankenstein of plastic and metal. And then for the cavalry, the light cavalry is all Aventine miniatures from their Byzantine range. All right, so we'll go on to the first division of infantry. So we'll start with the commander. So this is going to be one of the frontline divisions, and I'm kind of thinking about breaking it into potentially 2, because it might be somewhat unwieldy. We'll see. If you have any feedback in the comments, let me know in the comments. We are using the To the Strongest rules, which I'm pretty familiar with. But anyways, we'll talk you through this first division. So this is going to be in the Roman line, one half of the front Roman division. Ranger Miniatures and Gaming is doing the other half. So the first unit we have here is 1 and 2. These are the 2 parts of either the Herculani or the Jovians. I forget which one is which, but they are one of the elite legions of the Empire. So those 2 units are one part of the core, and then they've got 2 units of archers. Now, with the late Roman army, you can either have the archers kind of attached to the unit or separately as light infantry archers. Now, in just terms of like gaminess, the light infantry archers, they're more points expensive, but having them as a separate unit, I think is way more useful just in the way the game plays than having them attached to the unit. But I'm thinking they might just end up being attached and just forming the rear ranks, like so, because they're a little whatever. Anyways, so having them just be attached, and that is somewhat historical. I mean, I don't think we can really say for certain like how exactly it would have worked, but having them attached to the unit will just, I think, make the game a lot more like playable, if that makes sense. Like it's less to worry about for the players who might not be familiar with the rules, because they just activate as one unit and they can either shoot or do whatever they want to do. So yeah, in just for a little historical background, authors at the time, basically they say that the late Roman army, about 1/3 of many of the units were trained as archers. So whether they just formed the back ranks all the time, whether they came forward and skirmished, who is to say? So that's the first unit. Most of the legionaries are from the Aventine Miniatures Byzantine range, their shield wall, and then the back ranks are Victrix archers. All right, so now we've got the second part of the first division. We've got, I think these are the Jovians and these are the Herculani. I'll have to check, I can't remember. But they are basically the twinned legion. They're twinned legions, so they fought together. The blue shields and the red shields fought together. And same deal with the archers. But there you go. These are entirely Victrix models here. All right, so that, and then they've got their archers as well. Now the final piece, there were 2 units of Auxilia Palatini attached to the front line as well. So they, with the legions at this time, were made of 1,000 troops, 1,000 men. Back in the day, back in like the, whatever, more peak Roman Empire, whatever it was called, the Principate, legions were like 5,000 men. By this point, they're reduced to 1,000, and the Auxilia Palatini are 500. So each unit of Auxilia Palatini is like half the size of the total legion. I don't know if that makes sense for me just saying it, but I think these are, the ones in the back are the Cornuti, and these ones are the Brachiati. They were twinned together, usually on campaign. So they would have fought together. And then we got some more archers too that could be attached to one of these 2 units. So that is, in terms of heavy infantry, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of heavy infantry in the first division with archers. And I think having the archers attached, I mean, it is, you know, reasonably historical, and then it'll just make it easier to command instead of having to worry about all these light archer units to move around. All right. So now we've got the rear division, and I have to do the commander for this one, the reserve division, which is going to be Julian himself. I just need to order a few more bits and bobs for that command base. I want to kind of make a cooler command base for him. But we've got, actually, we'll start with the main legion. So the reserve line in the battle was anchored by the Pramani Legion, who you can see here. I did them with the Cairo shields. So this is after the period of Constantine the Great, where he, you know, painted the Cairo on the shield. So I just wanted to do something a little different. And I thought they would be useful, like, you know, if you do some of the civil wars, there was some between the Eastern Empire and the Western Empire, and that could be like a way to distinguish the 2 sides, having more key row on one side or the other. I don't know, just spitballing there. But anyways, we got the Pramani Legion is kind of the anchor, and in the actual battle, the Germans did break through the first division, and the reserve was actually key to the battle. The Germans broke through the front line of the Roman army, and they actually defeated the Roman cavalry. So Julian, the emperor, had to, or he wasn't emperor yet, but Julian had to deploy the reserves to shore up his battle line, basically. So the reserve, ideally, I mean, I think if the battle goes historically, I mean, the reserve will come into play. But obviously, it's a refight, so we'll see what happens. But the Pramani Legion, those 2 units are the center of it. So I'm actually pretty pleased how these came out. They're a mixture of Victrix and footsore miniatures, and the footsore miniatures for these are the kneeling guys. And the Romans at this time kind of fought in this like shield wall at times with kneeling front ranks and the rear ranks fighting over. So I kind of wish, I actually really like the way that turned out. I wouldn't mind having done some of my other units in that way. All right, so we got the Pramani, and then instead of having more legions, there are more Auxilia Palatina in the rear rank. So we've got 1 and 2 there, and I'm forgetting their names off the top of my head. The back one is the Reges unit, and I'm forgetting what the one in the front is, but that is a named one with the yellow and blue shields, and the red and blue ones are the Reges. I remember that. Then we have another back one. They might be the Oh, the yellow ones I think are the Celtae seniors maybe. There's also the Bataviae, are another one of the Auxilia Palatina in the rear, in the reserve. So that's another named unit there, but I'm forgetting which one's which. And then there are a couple unnamed units. So these ones I did as more kind of like ragtag. And that is, you know, I think Julian's army was what was called a field army, which were kind of the elite Roman troops at the time. So, I mean, I don't think he would have had too many ragtag troops with him, but this is more for my own uses. Like if I'm playing other games and you need some like less good Roman troops, these could fill the role. I wanted to kind of give them a, you know, they're not as strict with the Roman dress, you know what I mean? They're kind of in mixed clothing, some of their ethnic, you know, styles maybe mixed in, I don't know. And of course the kind of irregular shields as well. And then finally we've got Julian's bodyguard, the Victrix late Roman cavalry. All right, so with this army, what kind of remains to be done? I do want to play around with the basing a little bit more. And what I mean by that is I have put, you know, a layer of ground cover on, you know, the mud and then some flock. I think they just need a lot more like tufts and stuff like that. And I did kind of start doing it. But I also ran out of static grass on some of these. So I just kind of put a regular flock on some of them, like the ones in the Julian's bodyguard in the back, which I don't love just the look of the flock. So I'm going to have to dust that over with static grass. And if you have like a flock down, then you need way less of the good looking static grass. Because it'll kind of blend in and just kind of provide a top layer. I'll just have to dust that with static grass at some point. And I kind of want to, just do that with all these. Just really bring them up a little bit in terms of the grass basing, so it looks really good. But I was kind of starting to do that, but it was just getting too tedious for me. I had some other stuff to do anyway, so I'm just gonna have to like bite the bullet at some point and just do that. So we got the whole Roman force on the table. That I'm done. Now, what else will be in the battle? Basically, I believe, and this is just off the top of my head, I have it in a spreadsheet, but Ranger is doing basically the equivalent of this first division in the front. So we're going to have another one of those attached. Then we're going to have there's another small unit or smaller division that comes down the road with the Romans, like on the far right flank. So this is basically one half of the center in the reserve, and then there will be basically double this front line extending, and then another kind of smaller division out on the right. So basically almost double this number of infantry. And then again, every single cavalry unit I've done over here will also be doubled. So this is going to be a huge force. Really, really huge. So yeah, what do I need to do still? I want to do some Roman baggage. The Roman army for this battle, Julian, the commander, actually wanted to make camp and fight on the next day, but the army was like raring to go. They refused to make camp and they just wanted to fight. So they went literally straight from the line of march into a battle line and then attacked the Germans, who then kind of countercharged. So the Germans actually had the high ground. So I do want to do a little bit of Roman baggage, kind of coming down the road. That can be like the Roman camp. And if the Germans capture it, I mean, that would be some victory points for them. The other thing that needs to be done is the German hordes. So looking at how many, Romans we've done, we got to have more Germans than Romans. So I've already got, over, I don't know, hundreds of Germans painted, but we're going to need hundreds more. So I'm going to start really cranky on those. I mean, I have been cranking on them. But that is kind of what is next, is assembling the Germanic hordes. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you think. any suggestions, whatever. I'm just gonna call it there. What I do want to, well, yeah, all right. I'm already rambling on too much. But anyways, we'll call it there for this video. I think in the future, what you can expect is we're gonna be talking about the Germans somewhat, how to go about assembling a Germanic type army. We're gonna go into some of my thoughts for the terrain. I think I might do a little like how to play to the strongest tutorial on here. There are some good ones already, but maybe add to it. Anyways, that is enough from me. I hope you have a great week and see you in the next one.